Hey Joburg, how you guys doing? So, wow, what a weekend! Mind blown. Just, yeah, I don't even know where to go. It was just so much fun. As you can see, I'm still dead tired. But we had a blast. I can't believe we made a movie in 48 hours. I can't wait to show you guys the movie. It really is so good. I'm not just saying that because, I made it, but because we made it. Anyway, I'm a little bit shattered and in a bit of a tiz because I'm moving house this week and I'm on deadline for the paper this week, and I now have to rush off because I'm going to go hopefully do an interview with Clegg quickly, which I've just been tipped off about. So I'm going to jump in my car and fly off there, and if I sound incoherent over today, well, sorry guys, brain dead. Okay, so I've made it to the Radio Today studios where this Clegg interview is going to happen. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to get inside or if they're going to allow me to just jump in here. I really do hope so. I'd love to just get one or two questions in with Johnny and see what his plans are. I mean, he's such an intricate part of South African music history, and it's going to be so sad not to have him around anymore.
Clegg.
Hi.
Thanks for making up. I know you're running like an absolute lunatic at the moment.
Yes, I'm busy, putting together the American and Canadian leg of the final journey tour, and we were trumped because there's all sorts of new visa issues that we have to comply with, which I was like, I thought, look, I'm an old hand at this. I do this every year, and it changed. So I was caught, so it was a bit of a panic station, but I managed to get through early so I could come here and do this interview.
So you have no idea. I mean, this is like the best
your birthday present
ever.
from me.
Thank you so much. I mean, for me, strangely enough, I've never actually seen you play on South African soil.
Oh wow!
Which is really odd.
Where have you been?
I mean, the first time we met, of course, was in 1983.
Of course.
In Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
I was living in London at the time, and went across to Amsterdam and said to the people who were staying at, it was actually a South African owner of a hostel, said, where is there to go in Amsterdam? He said, no, you've got to go to the
Melkweg and watch Juluka.
And he said, there's this amazing South African band playing tonight. Yes. And then I came up to you afterwards and said, well, we were from South Africa and we had a long chat. And then when I bumped into you again in the 80s back here in South Africa, you actually turned around and said, I remember you from that night at the Melkweg, which was like, I mean, I don't know if you remember still now, because it's many years later. But I saw you playing there and I haven't seen you playing here, so I'm rather glad that you've added some more South African dates to your final tour.
Yeah, it's one in my last show in Johannesburg. 11th of November at the Dome. So it was an add-on essentially due to people imploring me on Facebook and my management and CompuTicket and everybody getting
everybody saying, please tell him.
Yeah, we missed the Monte Casino shows.
Yeah.
And the prices were a bit high. So what we did is we opened up a venue that could take more people, and so we could bring down the prices. So it starts at 250 Rand, and we're working hard to bring the same production that we did at Monte Casino, because it's a very small venue, so the ticket prices have to go up for the lighting. There's audio visual presentation. There's the Soweto gospel choirs. There's 2 dance teams. It's 35 people on stage, so it's massive. And then so to do that, and then of course I've got buddies and friends and other musicians who want to also come.
Yeah, they want to come and play with you.
Play with me, and so we're going to make it a long show.
Now, we were talking about who was coming to play with you. So who have you actually kind of managed to rope in, or rather, should we say, who's roped themselves into your final concert?
We're busy confirming a bunch of people at the moment, but we Prime Circle, Shakina, and a bunch of other artists who want to, and the other Ken Phonic and
There's so many people.
Corin
Zoid is coming, yes, of
yeah.
course, I remember
Yeah,
that, yeah.
and sorry, I can't think of them offhand. I would have brought the list with me. But so it's really going to be a jamboree, and also some musicians from when I started. You know, obviously Sipho Mtunu from Juluka will be there, and some other artists from that period of the mid '80s who I toured with, you know, around South Africa. You know, all these, what was it? The Castle. The Lion Lager Road Show.
Oh my goodness, those
do you
days.
remember those days?
Yeah, man,
This
that
Lion
was
Lager
amazing.
truck, where it was a Pantechnicon, and it would like fold down the stage, you know, and then we would climb on the truck and perform on this truck all over the country. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody. It was an amazing time.
No, just, I went to go and live in England, as I said, in '83, and I mean, I still had a Walkman, but it was a tape deck,
Right.
which I used to walk around. Now, I went overseas, and I was so into your music that I actually had African skins and like snake skin belts and beads, and I used to walk around London like that,
Wow.
dressed up in that stuff, listening to Scatterlings of Africa the
Oh,
entire
right.
time. That was my thing. I wasn't interested in anything else. I was back into South African like heritage culture,
Yes.
and that's how I walked around. And at that stage, I don't think that you were as big in England
No.
as you have become now,
No,
because you've
yeah.
just been back there, and
Yeah.
everybody I know in England went to go and see your concerts.
Yes.
How's the tour been so far?
It's been fantastic. We sold out everywhere. 2 shows at the Apollo Theatre in London, the Opera House in Dubai, and you know, we have I'm putting this. The tour is in a number of legs. So we're wrapping up this leg now, and then the next leg begins in October, which will be USA, Canada. And then March, April next year we do Europe, which will be France, Switzerland, Belgium, a bit of Germany, a dash of Spain.
Just a dash.
Just a dash of
Some
Spain.
pimento in
And
yours.
yes, you know, so but, you know, just a few shows on the in those markets where I was a peripheral, world music artist, but got onto either the charts or the playlists on the radio there. So there's interest. So that will be, and then that's it for me. I basically will only not be doing any more public performances. But a book is due to, well, the rough draft is due to be delivered by December. So that'll be out.
Are you writing it?
Yeah, I'm writing it, and my agent promises me next year that I'll have a lot of talking engagements in the States, and so it'll be a different kind of tour.
Yes.
And I have a new album out, which the masters arrived last night.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, and wonderfully, I have a collaboration with my son Jesse on it, which we actually perform.
Is he going to be playing with you at the Dome?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a whole bunch of people on stage with you.
Yes.
I mean, I actually, believe it or not, I've got tickets for the Monty show, but unfortunately it coincided with the tickets which we had gotten for Trevor Noah.
Okay.
So with my child being kind of like, okay, Trevor Noah, he is her muse as far as she's concerned.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going to be coming to this one. That's for sure. And I mean, they need to understand about how big a thing you have been for South Africa. I mean, honestly, when I talk about Mel's Treasures and things that have been kind of seminal points throughout growing up in South Africa and Johannesburg. You've got to be kind of the biggest out there one.
Thank you so much. Thank
I
you.
mean, that's just fantastic. But I mean, keeping all of this going and traveling from place to place, I mean, doesn't it get like absolutely exhausting?
It is exhausting. The traveling has become harder and harder and harder. Just the experience of getting, my band their visas this morning. It's just, it's very stressful, and I think, when you're young, you have this incredible comeback factor. That bounce, that youthful bounce. You just bounce back from everything. It's amazing. So I watched my son. He went through it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And I've been panicking for like 2 days about it, and saying, "Mate, have you got this? Have you got this document? Have you got your 5 by 5 centimeter color photograph because you can't take any other kind of photograph. You know, I know bands.
Yeah.
There's always somebody, whether you tell them or whether you email them, whether you tell them physically over the phone, they don't bring one document, and it happened.
And it's like,
So I had
how
to,
many people? 35 people?
No. This is my 7. It's my band.
Oh, just the
So
band.
it's 7
okay.
of us. Yeah. So somebody forgot their DS-164, which is the key 4. So we had to rush down to Santon to Postnet. He had to hook up his phone to their printer and print it out. Yeah, it's all that stuff. So it's always like that, you know. And you can ask my management because they do this, you know, not only for me but for all the other bands.
Yes.
And you know, that's why they're all grey.
I'm sitting there, and I know that he's hiding in the corner. One of the great impresarios here in South Africa when it comes to South African music. Somebody I've worked with. When did we start working together, Roddy Quinn? It must have been in the kind of early 80s.
10 years
those
ago.
days.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago? No, okay. I mean, that was in the
I'm not
days of
sure.
Elemental and Tribe After Tribe, and I used to go around. He used to pay me to go and put posters up all over the walls of
Yes.
various
Yeah.
bands, and
Fantastic.
Louis Sum was one of the ones where there was a big thing that came out. So, yeah, peripherally
Yeah.
involved in the music industry
Right.
throughout the years, and like a huge fan of South African music and always pushing it in the best way I can. But I mean, yeah, these big international tours. I mean, I know what it was like just going overseas with Elemental, and that was absolutely horrendous trying to get everything sorted out. And it was also in those good old days where, no, sorry, if you have a South African band on your label, we will leave. Was what most of the international
it was the
artists were
cultural
saying.
boycott. Yeah.
You did you go through
I
any
went
of
through
that?
that, yes. And one of the issues was in England. That's why my career never took off, because there was a very strong opposition to anybody, whether they are non-racial, racial, coming from South Africa. It didn't matter. There was a total blanket boycott, and I had to fight my way through that, which I did. But I wasn't allowed to perform on TV at all. So I could do live shows, and any royalties that I accumulated from radio play was had to be donated to the anti-apartheid movement, which I didn't mind. It was fine. It's just that there was such conflict between the anti-apartheid organizations in each country. They all operated differently. When I went to France, they embraced me, and Switzerland and Germany and places like that. Scandinavia was teetering, and then I just spoke to Harry Belafonte, and then he said, "You must come on tour with me. I'll phone them now. Don't worry, it'll be fine." And so he knocked that on the head.
Yeah.
And Holland, that show that we did there.
Yes. It was a great show.
I have a letter which
Yeah.
I've kept for my book from the anti-apartheid movement in Holland, which was the most powerful one, in terms of the fact that they felt that it was their Dutch settlers, who eventually set up apartheid.
Yes, so
And
they've got all of that stuff
they've got
going
all
on
that
as
stuff.
well,
Yeah, they're carrying all that baggage. And they wrote me a letter to say, we don't want you here. We love your music. We love what you do. We love what you stand for. But you're breaking this, and we can't actually allow you to perform. So please don't perform. But we did perform,
and thank goodness you did, because I got to see it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we had all of those conflicts, and we toured Canada and America, because we managed to convince those groupings that we were legit. So it was just very and it's interesting because the ANC never had a global policy. They just said to countries, if you want to set up an anti-apartheid organization, fine. We're not going to tell you what to say, because you know your country, you know how your country operates, and you can apply it the way you want to apply it. So it was like fruit bowl. You didn't know in each different country you had a different emphasis on this and that and whatever whenever you met with them to talk. But after the formation of the South African Musicians Alliance in 1987, all of that fell away. And so with Savuka we had no problem, because we were part of the alliance, and we had aligned ourselves to the three main rights that we felt were being denied us in South Africa. which was freedom of expression, freedom of association, and freedom of movement. Because we, SIPO still had a pass. Everybody was under duress at times. We went into townships to play because the police were closing down our shows. So, so we made a stand here, and that was then ratified by the United Democratic Front, and we were, and not only me, but many other bands were able to perform. So it was just, politics as usual as we have today. It's spaghetti.
SpaghettiOs. It's a whole can of mixed up stuff with a lot of tomato sauce thrown in for good measure. Okay, so you're not actually, doing a final tour, sure, but you're not actually like saying, well, that's it. You still, as you said, you're going to be doing speaking engagements.
Yes,
you've got an album coming out, hopefully another album coming out after that. Because
it's obviously, as you know, I had a cancer scare in 2015, and I'm in remission now. I came off my last chemo in February this year, and so I said to my management, I'm feeling good and strong, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'd rather, say, do my farewells now and go away with great memories and instead of having to do a pathetic one when I'm on the downhill.
I don't think it would ever be pathetic, Johnny.
I'm sitting on this chair. I used to be able to dance, but I'm not. I'm just, while I'm playing, just remember me as I used to be.
So you're still kicking up your heels?
Oh yes.
And
Oh boy.
crazy.
No. We've got an incredible live performance.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And he's still got all his hair. It looks really, really good.
Oh, thank you,
Fantastic,
darling.
No problem there at all, really. Okay, so you said the date again at the
11th
Dome?
November at the Dome, yes.
Oh, Poppy Day. We won't forget that one. So we will all be there.
Poppy
with
Day, explain, sorry?
Poppy Day.
Yeah.
Isn't it 11th of November is Poppy Day in England?
Oh,
where
yes, the First World War.
Yes.
Yes.
Where everybody wears the poppies
Yes.
in remembrance. It's
In
remembrance.
Flanders
Day,
fields the poppies grow.
I love it when a man talks like that. Ooh.
Between the crosses row by row.
He can do this stuff. Isn't that just so wonderful? Okay, so you're feeling good, you're feeling healthy, you're going to come out and wow everybody again, and then you're still going to go overseas, and then you're going to come back, and then you're still going to go overseas.
One last overseas.
And then I'm sure when you come back from overseas, there'll be another concert as well. I have no doubt.
From your mouth to God's ear, I swear. Basically this chemo for me takes me up to January.
Yeah.
So that is a kind of like a guarantee that it'll be in remission up until then, and then we'll see what happens. And if I'm able to just maintain it, we'll come back and look at the drawing board.
Okay, we'll all talk to God's ears at the moment as well, and just say let it stay that way as well, and go much longer. Johnny, thank you so much for coming in. It's always wonderful to see you. I know that occasionally I see you in the street somewhere and I go up and say, how are you?
Yes.
And I go, hang on, you do know me. It's like, I'm not just some weird fans coming up and saying, how's it?
None of my fans are weird. I love my fans.
Well, you've got a big one over here, but I am a bit weird. So there we go. There is one that is a bit strange.
Okay, my darling.
But I'm
thank you.
looking forward to seeing you on the 11th of November. And thank you for taking the time out of your hectic schedule. I know that it was like touch and go with going through to deal with the Americans this morning, but well done on getting that sorted as well.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, and we're going to play out with one of my favourite songs, which of course...
It is my favourite
Is
song.
it your favourite song
It's
as well?
my absolute favourite.
This was the one, this kept me company in 1983 in London,
Yes.
and thank you for that, because I was a very lost little soul living in England at that stage, and I had you to keep me there. Right, thank you very much, Johnny Clegg.
Cheers. Thanks.
Yay!
This song, if you want a back announce it,
Yes.
this song launched Juluka.
I know.
This is the song that got onto the top 40 in England, and then we re-recorded it with Savuka, and it went to number 1.
Really?
With
I'll
the
say
Savuka
that.
version. So it launched 2 of my bands.
It was nice to actually get in and sit in on the interview. Unfortunately, no time. I mean, he's a busy man running around just about a league for the States, so no time for me to sit down with him one-on-one and do an interview. But yeah, thank you, Mel and Radio Today, for allowing me to sit in there and stream that broadcast live to our Facebook followers. Right now, back to deadline. It's newspaper deadline today. Well, not quite today, but I need to finish writing up all the stories, and there's a ton of them because I've kind of been a little bit lazy. But anyway, finish up the stories and then fetch children and do all that other kind of stuff I've got to do. Plus move house. Wow, what a day. just taking a few minutes break away from writing stories for Deadline. It has been a hectic one, to say the least. Making preparations to get the house moved. National strike tomorrow, so we're coordinating that and seeing who's going to cover what. But yeah, meeting Johnny Clegg again today was really cool. I hope you enjoyed the little interview. Thanks to Mel and the guys at radio today for letting me sit in on that. And I will chat to you tomorrow. Have a fantastic morning, I think it is at the moment. But anyway, I'll chat to you soon. Cheers, Joburg.